Ladies and gentlemen, fasten your seatbelts.
What style were you going for?
We did a very realistic translation style. I tried to keep everything extremely realistic and extremely toned down in terms of colour, as we are making an extremely realistic film.
Generally, how was the set so far?
Set's been great, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a very relaxed set, surprisingly, and everybody's moved really quickly. And yeah, I've really enjoyed myself.
How's set been so far?
It's been cool, been fun, everything's gone smoothly and the red footage is looking incredible.
Have you enjoyed working with the team that you're working with?
I have, yeah, it's been amazing. Everyone's gotten on so well. There's been no tantrums, it's been cool.
How did you and Carl come up with the look of the darkness?
Carl originally he did a test drawing of it like pre-production, and he was just colouring it like a little kid, and then he said it should look like more like Cody's drawings, and then in the film there's one shot where Shamila Regan, she picks up this piece of paper and it's got this drawing on that Carl did, and he said, you know, he basically wants the darkness to look like that.
So what I did was at the beginning there was a toss-up of doing real liquid on set or creating in 3D, and with our test shoot with real liquid we didn't get to manipulate it properly. It didn't actually animate the way we wanted it to animate. And then from there, once we decided it was 3D, it's basically, you know, creating where the fluid source would be, how it would be animated onto the footage, why was she having it in a specific clip, how does it integrate with the different shots. So it all sort of ties in with the narrative and how her drug signal sort of helps out on what the liquid actually does for her and doesn't do for her in such a way. The hardest things about it is working in a small location. I mean, the apartment that we had that we were working in was really, I mean, you know, it's quite a big apartment, but when you have your whole crew there and all the equipment and the actors and everyone's trying to move around each other, I think that for me was quite difficult. And what we did was we actually transformed the whole thing from, you know, a very tidy, well-kept apartment to now this cracked in. So what we ended up doing was mixing coffee and water together and staining the walls a darker color. We cigarette butts, we put them all over the floor. It took about 3 days to get that place to kind of the standard we wanted it.
I just wanted to aim to keep it as real and natural looking as possible throughout the film. So basically, so that the cinematography is hopefully unnoticeable. Yeah, underwater, real challenge. That was something I wasn't quite expecting underwater to be. I've shot underwater before, but this time it was just especially difficult because of the cold conditions, mostly. That was the problem, the freezingness. And other than that, I'd just like to say thanks a lot to my awesome crew who really pulled through on the day, and they just worked relentlessly. Yeah, just helping me with all the sort of nitty-gritty things, all the assistants really did an amazing job.
Tell us where the inspiration came from for Letters to the Dark.
Well, the film Letters to the Dark came actually from the second year film I did called Flesh Wound that I adapted, because in fourth year we were told that we should do an adaptation. But I had the privilege of meeting a woman that went through a very similar life crisis that our lead character Regan went through, so I was able to do a lot of research and get realistic dialect and things that actually really happened. So that's where most of the inspiration came from.
And then best moment on set, if you can pick one.
The best moment was on set when my production designer Bianca Quinsley went to Europe. I think a good moment was when we called it a wrap, because I knew at the end of the time we had everything that we intended to do, and it all looked beautiful. It's past what we actually were wanting to do in the first place. Yeah, so I want people to, to get a message out there to make people think differently about prostitution and drug addiction in Cape Town, and that's basically what I want to get across, and make people cry.